The Keyblade is a strange weapon. Originally Sora was going to have a chainsaw sword, but Disney didn't like the idea, so it became a key. Now, the key is an important part of the story and the symbolism of the series. But what are my favourites? Not the best or the strongest, just the 10 Keyblades I like the most. Winner's Proof, Kingdom Hearts 2. Sitting right at the bottom of this list is Winner's Proof. It made it onto this list because it's so fucking ridiculously difficult to get. And then once you get it, it's probably one of the most useless Keyblades you can imagine. So why is it on the list then? Because I like showing off and telling you guys I have it. That's pretty much it. This Keyblade is little more than a trophy, and only completionists will and should get it. It is the most powerful magic Keyblade in the game, but magic in Kingdom Hearts 2 isn't particularly useful, all things considered. And the places you could probably use it is the Mushroom 13 challenges. But the thing is, you have to beat all of those challenges in order to get this Keyblade. Getting this Keyblade is probably the last thing you'll ever do in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. After that, it's just replaying optional boss fights over and over again. But I still got it, and that's what matters. Sweet Memories, Kingdom Hearts 2. If it weren't for this Keyblade, I might have actually gone insane farming items in Kingdom Hearts 2. This Keyblade gives you the ability Lucky Lucky, which increases the chance for items to drop. There are some items in the game you'll probably never get if you're not equipping Lucky Lucky abilities. Items with a 1% drop rate. At least it's not as bad as in Kingdom Hearts 1, where you had items with less than 1% chance. But still, it's not very likely you'll get these items without this ability. Now, after completing Kingdom Hearts 2, we get to play Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. And they changed the ability of this Keyblade. Alright, let's see, there's probably another Keyblade with this ability now, right? No? They removed it? Yes, Sweet Memories, as well as the Meteor Staff and the Genji Shield, got other abilities because fuck the player. That's why. This means item grinding in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix is made more difficult again. The ability still does exist and you can equip multiples of it still, but not as much as you could in the original Kingdom Hearts 2. I guess this was a Japan exclusive game after all, so it being more difficult and more grindy does make sense at least. Way to Dawn, Kingdom Hearts 2. Mainly because I'm a Riku fanboy. Yeah, I'll be honest about that. When Riku got his Keyblade at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2, I lost my shit. This was before everybody and my mum got a Keyblade, so it was something special. The design looks perfect. It's based on his sword, the Soul Eater, but it also reflects his balance between light and dark perfectly. Also, the way he wields it, he just looks like a fucking badass. Not much more to it than that, really. Just cool. It supports the narrative, and it's Riku's Keyblade. The Kingdom Key D, Kingdom Hearts 1. Similar to the last one, this is Mickey's Keyblade. I tend to like Keyblades you can't actually obtain more than the regular ones, it seems. At the end of Kingdom Hearts 1, we got to see Mickey show up with his Keyblade. At this point, we didn't even know he had a Keyblade. As a matter of fact, we didn't know anyone other than Sora that had a Keyblade. Well, not counting Riku, maybe. And it being the inverted version of your own Keyblade, it's just a really simple but cool design choice. Or should I say, simple and clean. I spent countless hours as a kid on the internet, desperately trying to find a way I could get this Keyblade for myself, and of course, I couldn't. Then Kingdom Hearts 2 was released and you got to play as Mickey if you died in certain boss fights. I can't be the only one who died on purpose more than once, just to play as Mickey, and have this Keyblade to go with that. What do you mean, you didn't do that? I know you did. Right? Fenrir, Kingdom Hearts 2. This is probably the first entry on the list which most people didn't see coming. To start this, I love Sephiroth. Both the Kingdom Hearts version and the Final Fantasy version, which, yes, are two totally different characters. If you've ever played both games, you'll know that there's similarities and with the way they look. Other than that, totally different characters. Anyway, I like the guy. His boss fights are amazing. I do prefer his fight in Kingdom Hearts 1, but the whole setting around the fight as a whole in Kingdom Hearts 2 is built up way better, and you actually get a Keyblade for it too. I know in the final mix version of Kingdom Hearts 1 you get a Keyblade too, but it's not even that good. Then the design. Most Keyblades are based on lever lock keys. having a long piece of metal with some pattern at the top. This keyblade on the other hand is based on a pin tumbler key, having a rigid texture all the way from the bottom to the top. This makes sense since it is the strongest melee keyblade in the game, perfect for equipping it to your Valorful. You see why I like this keyblade? Not just because Sephiroth. Then again, also because Sephiroth. Sides of Pumpkin, Kingdom Hearts 2. Mostly, and honestly, just because it's the best keyblade in the game. No, it doesn't have the highest stats. Winner's Proof has the highest magic stats in the game as we discussed, and Fenrir has the highest attack stats. Ultimate Weapon has the highest balance stats, but still this is the best keyblade in Kingdom Hearts 2. How come? Long story short, its ability. The longer your combo goes on, the more damage you do, which that results in a higher damage output than just having a flat higher attack stats. Don't argue that. People way smarter than me have calculated and tested this, and it's true. And the best part is, you get it by playing the story. No optional obscure bullshit, just play the game and you'll get it. The funny part is, if you don't know how ridiculously powerful this keyblade is, most people will probably trade it in for another keyblade like Ultimate Weapon or maybe even Fenrir at some point, which both are worse. Chaos Ripper, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Listen, this thing just has a disgusting attack stat, alright? You get it right after turning dark as Terra by fighting Master Ericus, and it's sure to replace the keyblade that you've just gotten. Yeah, the End of Earth keyblade is just used in the Ericus fight really. After that, you get this bad boy and you're ready to wreck some shit. It is the most powerful melee keyblade in the game, which goes well with Terra being pretty much the goofy of this trio, strong and tanky. The only downside I have to this keyblade is that canonically, Terra uses the Ends of Earth keyblade in his battle with Xehanort, and let's be honest, you don't do that while you're playing this game. It's a minor thing, which you can't even argue against it being true, but I see it that way, so yeah. Its design is pretty cool, although now that I've gotten some context about the eye symbols seen in a decent amount of these weapons, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's just say Kingdom Hearts key back cover fucks me up a little bit. Void Gear, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. To start off, this keyblade again has the eye on it. I know it's a sign of evil people having evil weapons in the series, but then again, that just stopped making any sense after seeing back cover. Now, this keyblade had the same appeal to me that the Kingdom Key D in The Way to Dawn did. It's a cool looking keyblade used by someone else and I want to get it too. Well, you actually can get it. In the final mix version of the game, when you beat Vanitas' Remnant, you get a white version of this keyblade. I'm kinda sad that it's a white version and not a real deal, but it's close enough. Giving this to Ventus feels wrong somehow, and I love it. It's also a pretty good keyblade to use if you don't have the Ultimate Weapon or the Royal Radiance yet. The boss fight to get this little gem though, is difficult. Really fucking difficult. It's still the easiest of all the optional bosses in this game, but this game also has the hardest optional bosses in this series, generally speaking. The Keyblade of People's Hearts, Kingdom Hearts 1. Do I need to tell you the main reason I like this keyblade? Number 1, it's a keyblade you can't get. And yes, I tried, and so did you. Don't lie to me. Not only that, but it's a keyblade used by Riku. That's bonus point. Then, it's a keyblade used by evil Riku. More bonus points. And that's why I liked this keyblade as a kid. But now I like it for better reasons. It's not just a normal keyblade like Sora has. It's a keyblade that's made up out of the 7 Princes of Hearts. Or well, it should be, but it's only got 6 out of the 7 hearts it needs. This makes it a different type of keyblade. You see, most keyblades we know are keyblades from the realm of light. Then, Mickey's keyblade is the keyblade from the realm of darkness. Then you've got the keyblade, which is the keyblade of the world's hearts. And then, this keyblade is a keyblade of people's hearts, making it some kind of miniature keyblade. And that's where my own headcanon comes in. This keyblade is supposed to be made out of the 7 pure lighted hearts. And the keyblade is supposed to be made out of 7 pure lights and 13 pure darknesses. So this keyblade more or less is half of the keyblade probably. If this actually comes back in Kingdom Hearts 3, in any way, I'll feel like a goddamn genius. Master Xehanort's Keyblade, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Let's start by saying, yeah, you can't get this one, so yeah, I like it. Well then, aside from that, it's also got a really nice design. It's always felt different from other Keyblades somehow, and that is because it is the oldest Keyblade in existence. It predates the Keyblade War and was held and probably made by the Master of Masters, who placed his own eye into it so he could see the events to come, leading all the way up to the Keyblade War. He used his knowledge to create a book of prophecies. So the thing is, after giving this Keyblade to Luxu, he tells him to pass it down to the next apprentice, and this way it managed to make its way all the way down to Xehanort. Xehanort and Ericus trained together and both got a special kind of Keyblade. I'm curious to find out why Xehanort was the one to get this Keyblade and not Ericus. Also, the fact that this Keyblade still is around after the Keyblade War. Does that mean the Master of Masters knew not only about the events that would lead up to the Keyblade War, but also everything that's happened in Kingdom Hearts up until now, and everything that is still to come? There is a lot of questions that still need answering, even more now with the release of back cover. And Kingdom Hearts 3 better answer everything it can, because the story of this series is so convoluted and all over the place at this point, you can't give us an easy answer anymore. So at least give us a complete answer. As complicated and convoluted as the story may be, I would love if you could just finish up all the loose ends by the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 and leave us just with a single cliffhanger for the next game. Because yes, Kingdom Hearts 3 is confirmed to be the end of the Xehanort saga. I mean, it has to be at this point. And you can make sure there will be Kingdom Hearts games after this, it just sells too well. At least make sure you finish one story though, before starting the next one.